All. So welcome back in a new session. Today we will see how to create the test data in a ETM. So let us first understand what is the test data. So test data is commonly includes the various type of information such as input values, the login credentials, then expected results which you are expecting while doing the manual testing, and a lot of conditions if you want to put while doing the manual testing. So whenever you want to do the execution of the test cases, you will provide some input data via Excel, or you can say CSV file majorly, which supports in the ETM. You will provide the input data there, and accordingly it will take the data and it will automatically pull out to the next record, execution record. So we'll see how it helps in the ETM while doing the manual testing. It is very interesting feature of the ETM. Let's look into the tool, how we can use it in the ETM. So once you log in into the page, you will land up into the project dashboard, right? So this is the QM URL, and I'm using the demo project of the JK banking. So once you land into the project area, you will see the dashboard. Once you on the dashboard page, you just have to click on a constructions. If you have a permission to create the test data, you will see the option as a create. So what you need to do, so you have to click on the test data. Okay, so what is the test data? So whatever you are using for a testing, we need parameters, right? So for example, if my first use cases is I have to test the login page. For the login page, I need a username and password. Okay, so whatever the values or whatever the AD users are there, I do have a Excel entries of it. Fine. So those Excel entries, we need to validate whether it is allowing for all the users to do the login in the application or not. To do that kind of a testing, you have a multiple test data. So whatever the test data parameters are there, for example username and password, this we called it as a test data. So for example, I have created a format as name and password, so where my name I given and password also I have given into the Excel. So A column represent the name and B column represent the password. Here you can do the multiple entries as you want. Okay, so for the demo purpose, I have given this as a CSV file. So it is not an Excel file, it should be a CSV file. Okay, so for this I am giving the login page test data as a name. You can provide the description for this test data. Okay, again here you can see data file, right? So here you have to select the CSV file of the test data. So once you browse here, it will look like this. Okay, here you can see the number of entries of it. You can click on save. Before that, here you can see the categories. The categories, if you have created in the test cases, you can define the categories of this test data. So currently I have not defined any, so click on save data, sorry. So once you imported it, now let's see how we can use that test data. So for that, I will create the first fresh new test case where I will give the login page test. Okay, so if you can see here, provide the login page testing as a name. For this, I will create a one test script. Login page test. I'm giving a step 1, enter the username. I'm clicking on the test script. Once you are into the login, test script, here you can see whatever the content I have written. Step 1. Fine. So if as a step name, if my God. Once you open the test script, here you can give the name, enter the credentials. Fine. So for the credentials, the step 1 is enter the username, and step 2 will be enter the password. Fine. We consider I have a username and password. So whatever the test data sheet we have imported, you can see the test data option here. So before entering the test data, what you have to do, you have to select this pencil icon, whichever the test data that CSV which you have added, you can select that. Earlier I have added the same one, so it is showing me the same thing. The name is different, so that it took me that separate one. So once you click on this, you can save on the test script. So what you have to do to use that test data, you can see here this options, right? So you have to select the first option. Here you can see name. So in the name, username, what I will select name, then click on this insert test data column option. Again, after this password, again I'm selecting the password and click on this icon. Once I'm done, I will close this option, click on save. Fine. How many rows are there in my entries? There are 2 rows, right? So once I run this test script, what will happen? I will again save it. It will take a time. I will just refresh the page first. Okay, so now you can see here name and password, right? So you can run the test case. To run the test case, what you have to do, you can go into the login page test case, click on the option as a run. Once you click on a run, you can select the test plan, iteration, environment. For now, I'm just selecting test script, which is there. Selecting this as a by default. Click on finished. Once you click on a finished, you will get the page as this execution page. So what you have to do, you have to click on the start option. So once you click on the start, it will give you as a manual test. So what is the credential, that first entry? It is a Shweta, right? So here you can see username and password. It is giving me as a username and password. So you can use this username and password. You can give the expected result, okay, and actual result you can make it as a fail or pass. So for now I'm doing as actual result as a pass. Once I done this, you can see the next row is automatically updated as a admin. So again I'm doing it as a pass. As this is having only 2 steps or 2 entries, it is stopped, and you can see the execution record is passed. And if you go in the test result, it will give the details. Actual result is pass. This is the test data that you have used. which is the test case and execution record which you used. So this is all about the test data use case. You can use the multiple test datas in a multiple steps where you want. So thank you so much.